For the third year and counting, Richard Skipper has been celebrating the artists you love. Richard Skipper is all about celebrating life, art, and his guest body of work. Please join us while he showcases these diverse and talented individuals. Here's Richard Skipper.
Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Richard Skipper Celebrates, my Friday wrap-up show. Who or what are you celebrating? Well, I got my booster this week. I'm doing a concert tomorrow night. It will be my first time performing before a live audience in 3 years. So I wanted to make sure that I got boosted and that I would be ready and everything to do that before everything started. I have 4 phenomenal people waiting in the wings. I see that one has just arrived. So we're ready to start. And I asked Natasha, who's watching, Natasha Rose, who will be on the show next week, by the way, to pick a number 1 through 3. And she picked number 2. And before I bring her on, why not just show a little bit of her upcoming show? Everyone, this is Barbara Minkus.
You know, throughout my life, many people have struggled to say the name Minkus. When Danny Kaye said it was magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Minkus.
Get ready for the judgment day. Woo! May all your storms be weathered, and all that's good get better. Here's to life, here's to love, here's to you. Here's to life, here's to love, and here's to you.
It is still playing. Why?
You know what's happening? It repeats like right after the.
I'm going to tell you, get rid of that feature because.
You know what's happening? It repeats like right after
the camera. Tell you, get rid of that feature because you have another window open.
Okay.
Robert, you've got another window open.
What should I do?
Close out everything but the window that you're on for this show. I'm going to have to take you off camera until we come back.
What should I do?
Close out everything but the window that you're on for this show. You're going to have to come back. You've got to close out all windows. Thank you. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to bring Esther on. Hello, Esther. How are you?
Hi, Richard. I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm so thrilled that you are here. I want to ask, you missed the very beginning of the show, but I begin. Who or what are you celebrating today?
Oh, I am just celebrating, I think, this life today. I want to celebrate life. I am just happy to be here today.
Well, I'm thrilled that you're here. What's happening in your career right now? I mean, a lot of people have been stuck because of COVID, but you're starting to come out of all of that. Are you working again? Are you on the boards? Are you in front of the camera? What's going on with you right now?
I would love to be back in front of the camera. So I'm not at the moment, but I would love to. I am working right now on a cancer foundation.
Good for you.
Yes. So that is my main focus right now. Yes.
Well, may I ask what got you involved with this particular organization? And you can give us the name of the organization if you'd like.
It is the Breakthrough Foundation. It's something that is from South Africa. It's in South Africa. And since I am originally from there, that is how I got involved in that. And we would like to bring it over to America. And actually, my father just got diagnosed with cancer. So it is something that's really close to my heart. And I lost my mom to cancer. So, so many people had that happen to them or their family. So it's something everybody can identify with or know somebody who has it. So I'm very passionate about that.
Well, first of all, I'm thrilled that you're doing the kind of work that you are doing. Now, I know that you're originally from South Africa. Are you currently in South Africa?
No, I'm currently in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I just got back from South Africa.
How did you make the trek to from South Africa to? Did you first of all come to New York, or did you go to Los Angeles at the beginning of your career? And some may remember you. I mean, I know here from All My Children.
Yes, I first came to Los Angeles, and I auditioned here, and I got the part from Los Angeles. And I was just getting comfortable in Los Angeles, finding my feet, and settling in here and getting comfortable. And then I got the part on All My Children, and then had to move to New York and had to start all over again. And
Was that an easy transition for you?
It was easier than moving to America. But it was a very big difference than living in South Africa. It was very much like a concrete jungle, and I am from a small little village almost in South Africa. Grew up on a game farm.
Where in South Africa did you grow up?
I grew up in Rustenburg, which is a really small town, and also on a farm, a game farm. So it was very, very different to what I am used to. And
Now, I was going to go on an African safari in February. I've been planning for this for 2 years. And the idea for me of being on two, especially now, there's still a lot of things that we don't know about new variants of COVID and everything. When I found out there were 2 8-hour flights to get there, I said, I'm going to have to put a pause on this. So I'm not going to on this safari in February as I had originally planned. But so you're doing all the work now with the Cancer Foundation. Are you finding that you're getting a lot of opportunities to audition right now, or are things still a little slow because of COVID?
I think it's definitely a little slower now because of COVID.
Okay. So we are going to bring our next guest on in a few moments, but one of the things that I do on Fridays is I've got 4 random questions, and you get to pull a number 1 through 4. I don't know what they are, so it's going to be a surprise question for both of us.
Okay. So I have to pick a number?
1 through 4.
3.
And the question is, if you could visit any place in the world, where would it be and why?
Bali. I've always wanted to go there.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks beautiful, and I always had a yearning to go there. I don't really know why. Just the pictures look beautiful.
Well, maybe we can go together someday, Esther. So that would be.
I'm up for it.
I am too. So you get to bring on our next guest. Pick a number 1 through 3.
4.
1 through 3.
Oh, 1 through 3. Sorry. 1.
And that's my dear friend Terry Paris.
Hello.
You've got company.
Hi.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Who's
Happy
this with you?
Kwanzaa. Oh, well, I thought you were going to ask what was my most important thing today.
Well, I'm going to get there, but first of all, I want to know about your pet.
Oh my goodness! Look at that. Oh my! Is that a Pekingese?
No, it's a little Tibetan Spaniel.
Oh,
And
how beautiful. So
there you
adorable.
go. That's looking at the camera, sweetie.
How
Good
Aw,
girl. Yeah.
old is she?
She's 6 weeks old.
wow.
How beautiful.
I bred her. That's my other lifeline, Richard, is
I know that. So tell everybody about your other lifeline, and we're going to get to everything that you're doing because you do so much. I've known Terry longer than Terry's been on this planet. No,
Thank you. Thank you.
we've known each other a long time.
Long time, baby.
And I've got a great photograph.
Joe, I don't want to go back there because you might not like it. So
Well, if you're there, I will like it.
I don't even remember what the first show that we met was. It the Blue Angel?
Oh my God. I auditioned at the Blue Angel. I didn't get it. You got it.
I did. I didn't go right away. I went when my friend Crises, you remember Crises, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
God bless her.
Yes, absolutely.
Told me to come and audition for it. So I did. Oh, no. I get all this stuff confused. I would think I got that job because I was dating this French guy who was in the show.
Mhm.
And I wanted to, and I went down every night. And this was before I started doing impersonations, right? But they were doing that in that show. So every night I got dressed up as Greta Garbo and then Judy Garland. And then, and I just copied this makeup from books.
So you
And one of the guys who was doing Liza he started getting sick, and he ended up getting hepatitis. And the director, this French guy, said, "You come in tomorrow. You start rehearsal." And I'd never,
I want to
ended up on the chair. My hair.
Bringing back memories because I remember auditioning for the. Who was the producer of that show?
Peter Jackson.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I
And then it broke down.
Yes. So I want to ask you. I know that you are. Did you take a hiatus performing? I know that I've got scrolling on the screen here. You've got 2 shows coming up, and I know that you also have a Christmas show coming up.
Yeah, really soon. I got to get it together.
I've got one tomorrow night. So.
Okay. Yeah, I did take a hiatus for a while. I left the city kind of at the end of AIDS, because we were all taking care of everybody, and we all got burnt out. Especially me. I just, I said it was because of the dogs, but it was really because of that. I just wanted out.
Mm-hmm.
And I got out, and I lived in this nice big farmhouse up in Westbrookville, New York. And I had a roommate, and she said she heard me sitting around the house all the time and doing all this stuff and everything. She said, "They're auditioning at this dramatic workshop up here. You should go." I said, "No, I don't audition. I'm not going to go." And it's a vaudeville show. I said, "Oh, well, maybe." So I went and I told the Bette Midler, Sophie Tucker jokes. And I sang, I forget which Sophie Tucker song. And there was this guy in the back. And if he didn't look like one of the oldest queens I ever saw, I said, "I got this. I got this." So that's how I started working up here. I worked a couple of years with the dramatic workshop, and then they had a cabaret every year. So I started doing some singing, and I really realized that what I really wanted to do was not the impersonations really, although I sent you a clip of the Piaf thing.
Yeah.
Was more of me. Who am I and what am I doing? So that's.
Well, Terry, I want to put it out there to anyone who doesn't know, you have a phenomenal singing voice.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
It's true. It's true. And recently you had a birthday. So how did you celebrate your birthday?
Oh, you don't want to know. Well, I'm still doing the dogs, because they're so what is a very good, dog fancier do on their birthday? They drive 4 hours to Connecticut to get a girl bred because she came into season and she had to go. Luckily, there were, a couple of very good friends that I've known for a long time. So they took me out to a birthday dinner in a nice place in Connecticut. And my dog visited her boyfriend and we took her back.
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Esther. If you could go any place in the world, where would it be and why?
You know, to a bigger house around the corner. You know,
Good for you.
I've been, when we were with LeClique, I traveled so much. I'm sure you've traveled a lot too.
Mhm.
And I've been to a lot of, places in my life and time. And I just like the idea of being really comfortable where I am, and
And you are. How many dogs do you have currently with you?
not including the puppies, 8.
Good for you. And God bless the work that you do, Terry. Thank God. So before we bring on our next guest, you get to pull a number 1 through 3 for your mystery question.
2.
Okay. And your question is, if you could never work again, how would you spend your time? I think I know the answer.
Singing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So bring on our next guest, 1 or 2.
1.
Okay. And that's Brett Chapman, who is waiting in the wings. Hello, Brett. Thank you for being patient. And welcome to the show. You are muted, so you need to unmute yourself.
I
Great.
sure do. Hey, Richard, how are you?
I'm thrilled that you're here. So, like Esther, you also are part of the soap opera world, and you have the distinction. I want to go back years ago. There was a show on TV where Ginger Rogers played a soap opera queen, and she was killed off in the show, but she came back as her twin sister, because everyone wanted her back. But you had the distinction of playing 2 different characters on General Hospital. The first character, you want to tell us about?
Yeah, the first character was Roger Barstow. He worked for Victor Cassadine, and he, unfortunately, like you said, was killed off. He got knocked out and gassed with poisonous gas. It was terrible. But that is the, I guess, summary of his character.
So what are you doing now? Are you keeping very, very busy? You're still with the soap, and what's going on in your life? And I know I want to talk about this incredible charity that you're part of as well. And I'm going to bring the information up on the screen. But where's your home base now, and what's going on with you?
Well, I'm here in Los Angeles, just getting back to auditioning and working after COVID. I've been doing maybe 10 or 12 episodes of General Hospital, just various characters, and just wrapped on a great show on Apple TV Plus called Mrs. American Pie. It's going to be coming out in the summer. It stars Kristen Wiig. Laura Dern is the producer. Ricky Martin is in it. Jason Cannella, Leslie Bibb, and the great Carol Burnett.
So they couldn't find any really talented people for this show other than yourself?
I know, it's ridiculous.
Good for you. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I can't share too much. I've been cautioned against that, but
Okay.
I'll give you the gist of it. It's based on a wonderful book by a lady named Juliette McDaniel called Mr. and Mrs. American Pie.
Okay.
And it's about Kristen Wiig's character trying to sort of fit into high society. And it's got a lot of heart. It's a really funny show, and just having the opportunity to work with Carol and with all these other amazing actors has just been a real thrill.
Well, Brett, I have to say they've gotten a chance to work with you, so it's a thrill for them as well. No, seriously. But trying to get into high society, are you a part of high society, or is it a world that you would want to be a part of?
Oh, I don't know about that. I would like to. I would like to have enough money to live very, very comfortably, but high society, it seems like a lot of work.
Yes, yeah. Well, I want to ask you about this charity that you're part of, and I'm bringing it up, Miracle on 22nd Street, which is on the bottom of the screen now, in case anybody wants to get involved. And by the way, Esther, all of your information both of this information will be on my YouTube channel. So by all means, anyone who wants to make a contribution, and even to the work that Terry's doing with the dogs and everything, this is the time and the season for giving. So if you're able to do so, by all means, do so. So tell us a little bit about the charity.
Yes, thank you. I didn't even know we were going to be talking about this today, so this is great.
I've got lots of surprises.
I know you've done your research, clearly. Miracle on 22nd Street is a wonderful charity that I've been aware of for about 12 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's run by a man named Jim Glaub, and the story behind it is basically that Jim started getting about 12 years ago hundreds and hundreds of letters from kids to Santa to his apartment. For whatever reason, he still to this day doesn't know why. And he and his partner sort of felt like they couldn't just let those letters sit there on Christmas morning. So they started bringing them to their work and putting the information out on the internet. And they got a massive, massive response from people who just wanted to take a letter and fulfill it and make a child's Christmas wish come true. And it's been going for about 12 years. It's been a massive, massive success. And there's still room for more elves this year if anybody's interested.
That's wonderful. I'm going to definitely get involved on that because I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. So I'm going to ask you the same two questions that I've asked our other two guests here. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
London, England. I've never been there. I would love to go there. I'm a theater guy at heart, and I love the theater scene, so I would love to visit the West End. And to be real honest with you, I haven't been out of the country except for Mexico. So I would love to just make that my first trip out of the country.
Well, I'm planning a trip to London because Imelda Staunton, Terry knows this about me, I'm a Hello Dolly aficionado. I'm writing a book about all the women who have played Dolly. And Imelda Staunton is going to be playing Dolly in London. And I had tickets to go to her opening night before COVID, and then everything fell apart. But it's been announced that in 2024, she's coming to do the show. So my first trip to London as well.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. You know, I just saw Hello Dolly for the very first time, the film version, about a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
well, check out callondolly.com. You'll see all the women who have played Dolly and a few men too.
I know.
So if you found out that you could never perform again, what would you do with your time?
You know, it's interesting when you asked that question. I was thinking you might ask me. I didn't really know how to answer, but you know, after thinking about it and your previous question, I think I would just travel. You know, I would spend a lot of time traveling, experiencing life, experiencing, you know, different areas and cultures, and just kind of trying to expand my horizons as much as possible. That's kind of what 2022 has been about for me. So just continuing along that path.
That's great. And you get to pull your mystery question, which is one or two.
Two.
Okay. And the question is, if you could be, well, if you were not famous, what would you want to, what would you want to be famous for? It says, if you could be famous, what would you want to be famous for? I already think you're famous. So if you were infamous, what would you be infamous for? Let's go the opposite direction.
You know, if I wasn't an actor, I think I'd want to be a vocalist. If I wasn't a vocalist, I think I'd maybe I've always been interested in psychology and psychiatry, that type of thing.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try to bring Barbara Minkus on again in a moment. I'm going to say, first of all, that Barbara is going to be, both Brett and Esther, you are in LA, so you can go see Barbara. She is phenomenal. She's doing a show called 18 Minutes of Fame, which I saw when she did it in New York, and I recommend it. Everybody in LA who sees this show, go and see this. I've got a little surprise for Barbara, because Barbara and I, we got each other through COVID virtually. And so Barbara started a YouTube series called About Life. And I went on and I pulled a clip today so that I could share with all of you a clip from this series. It's all available on barbaraminkus.com, which I'll bring up in a moment. Let everyone check it out. And here she is. Barbara Minkus from About Life.
Hi, everyone. I'm Barbara Minkus, and I'm here with wonderful Ron Barnett, and I hope everybody's fine out there. You know, last week I found this song in my garage. That is the Magic Garage. It's an old arrangement, but listen to the band. It sounds very much like Cabaret, doesn't it? But it was long before Cabaret that I sang this song. It was on the Merv Griffin show. To a picture of Arthur Treacher. It goes something like this. I have the lyrics just in case. Ask me, how do I feel now that we're cozy and clinging? Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. From the moment we met tonight, that's the way I'd have to behave. And if I were a lamp, I'd light. And if I were a banner, I'd wave. Ask me, how do I feel, little me, with my quiet upbringing? Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a gate, I'd be swinging. And if I were a clock, I'd start popping my springs. And if I were a bell, I'd go ding dong, ding dong, ding. From the moment we met tonight, that's the way I'd have to behave. And if I were a lamp, I'd light. And if I were a banner, I'd wave. Ask me, how do I feel? Little me with my quiet upbringing. Well, all I can say is if I were a gate, I'd be swinging. And if I were a clock, I'd start popping my springs. And if I were a bell, a very special bell, a school bell, church bell, doorbell, cowbell, bar bell, lunch bell, any kind of bell, I'd go ding dong, ding dong, ding ding dong dong, ding ding dong dong, ding ding dong ding ding dong ding ding dong ding 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 dong ding. I'd go ding dong, ding. That's how I'd feel.
Barbara, that's how you make me feel. Let me remove this so we can see you.
Oh my God! You know, I was so sorry about that song. I never rehearsed it.
Well, you did a great job.
All ad lib. I mean, I never even had one rehearsal. I can't believe that's the song you chose.
Well, why not? I love it. I loved it. I mean, I've watched every one of your shows, and I love, love, love what you do. Hopefully, Brett will make it back here. I hope that he'll make it back. But Barbara, I want to ask you, you've got this show opening. You and your very handsome husband just celebrated a great anniversary.
No, tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Is tomorrow the actual anniversary?
Tomorrow is the actual anniversary. Tomorrow is our anniversary party.
Oh, that's wonderful. I am going to I'm going to mute you for a minute, Terry. Okay, perfect, great. So, Barbara.
Yeah.
So you're celebrating tomorrow. I'm going to be on stage tomorrow night for the first time in 3 years with Leroy Reams and Rita Harvey and a lot of phenomenal entertainers. You've got a lot to celebrate right now.
I sure do. You know, it's our 50th wedding anniversary. Wow. That in itself is a miracle. It's wonderful, and how ironic that next week I'm doing my show. It was rescheduled because I was supposed to do it in July, and then they rescheduled it. So when they want to do it, the week after our anniversary party. And what did I say? Because of perseverance,
You know, I did a show a few weeks ago. I do a show on Sunday nights. I'm going to plug that right now with Kassira McKee called the Let That Go Show. And just last week, our topic was letting go of holiday stress. And the word stress is in quotation marks because Kassira believes, and I now do as well, that it's not really a stress as much as it's the fact we overcommit ourselves. Are you an overcommitter?
Well, here's my theory in life. Okay, the theory: I do one thing at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and I do it as best I can,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go on to something else. So, if you were to ask me, do I overcommit? Absolutely. But do I do each things one thing at a time? Absolutely.
You give 150%. I know you always do. You always have. I love you. You're one of my favorite people on the planet. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. It's the truth.
I do.
But I want to ask you, I mean, will this be the first time that you've done the show since COVID?
This is the first time, and I've rewritten it with Susan Morgenstern, who is my wonderful co-conspirator and co-conspirator, to make it holiday friendly. So I've added a whole bunch of holiday stories and songs, and I got a great Santa Claus story with a picture when I was a little girl. You know, my dad owned a department store, and one of the things that he had at the department store, which I just loved, was a real live Santa Claus every Christmas in the toy department. How many kids grow up with that?
That's great. Well, I want to tell everybody today is National Christmas Card Day, believe it or not. There is a holiday for that. And I'm going to go back to you, Esther. Do you exchange Christmas cards? Do you get a lot of Christmas cards? What's your take on Christmas cards in this holiday season?
Yes, I like Christmas cards. I like writing them. I like giving them. I like receiving them. So I do enjoy Christmas cards.
So I'm going to unmute you now, Terry. I pulled some questions here. These are all holiday centric questions so that we can all celebrate together today. And Terry, the question is, as we're wrapping up this year, what do you consider the most valuable lesson that you've learned this year?
That every little moment can be your happiest moment. You know, I had an experience that was amazing, and it was kind of like it wasn't a dream, it was an awake dream. When I was trying, and it was trying to see what were the things that really made me happy, and all of this stuff started flooding in. A drive through the country, a visit with my friend, you know, all these small little things that we don't think or anything are the things that really make us happy.
Was there a specific pivotal moment that really gave you this awakening this year?
No, it kind of, I think I saw something on TV about what made someone happy, and it made me ask myself. And it was kind of an awakening, because all of these events, small events in my life, started flooding in, and it was quite wonderful. It was quite wonderful.
Well,
really.
it's great that you learned that lesson. Many people don't ever get to that point where they realize that. So this is it. This is all.
This is it, and this is a happy moment.
It's a happy moment. I'm enjoying this. Speaking of happy moments, Brett, what are 3 things that always make you smile?
3 things?
Yes.
Breakfast is served, lunch is served, and dinner is served.
You know, when I was on the road traveling a lot, one of my favorite 2 words in the world, do you know what they are?
What's that?
Room service.
Oh,
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love it.
At the end of the night, when you're doing a show, going back to your room, turning on the TV, and having dinner served. So great answer.
You want my real answer?
No, I would take that as your real answer, but you can give us another answer if you'd like.
Oh, Three things: the sound of a baby's laugh, the sound of my nephew and niece's voices, and that sound right on opening when a show is right about to open, the curtain's right about to open, and you're standing in the wings. That sound.
That's an incredible sound. All of us who are in this business, we're lucky enough. Hopefully, we're lucky enough to hear that sound. And Barbara, next week you're going to hear that sound loud and clear. So I'm looking forward to hearing that sound tomorrow night. Esther, what made you laugh the hardest this year?
Oh boy. I was in South Africa and I was spending time with a friend of mine, Rudy, and we just started laughing really about nothing. And it's just when you can find joy in nothing, in like it doesn't even have to be something funny. It's just having joy in being together with someone you love, and you can just enjoy the moment. That is a beautiful thing.
I totally agree. That's great. Terry, as we're going into the next year, what's something that you truly want to accomplish next year?
I would like to get into, more and more venues up here. I'm a Catskill girl now.
Yes.
It's like Broadway to the Borscht Belt.
Yes.
And there's an incredibly vibrant musical community up here. And there's a ton of open mics and a ton of really talented people. And we're doing a lot of stuff. So just keeping being involved in that and starting to get booked more regularly in some of the smaller venues up here.
Well, the best way to do is to write to 3 different venues every day. One of them is going to hit. It's going to happen.
Good idea.
Barbara,
Yeah.
what's your favorite holiday and why?
Well, I like both Christmas and Hanukkah. I buy Christmas, Hanukkah, because I grew up with Christmas being so important because of my dad's store, and it was just the most joyous time. And how many kids have Santa Claus to talk to every day? He didn't want me to sit on his lap because I weighed 185 pounds, and he said, "Little girl, you weigh more than Santa."
I will share something with you, and I've shared this on the show before.
I wanted to fire him, and I begged him not to, because I love tradition. And I love the tradition of Santa and Christmas. That takes me to Hanukkah. I love having Hanukkah at my house, and I make a fantastic vodka. I want you to say.
Wow.
And I love watching my grandchildren, who are all under 7, open their little gifts, and I have great joy watching people open gifts that I give them.
Oh, it's great. I was Santa Claus, believe it or not, at Gimbel's department store in New York. I was their Wednesday Santa Claus. When I first came to New York, it was one of my first survival jobs, and I'm convinced that I'm the reason that Gimbel's went out of business. No. So, Brett, I mean, you've already mentioned the fact that you would love to travel, and but if you could go anywhere for the holidays, where would it be?
New York to see my family.
Are you going to make it?
I saw them pretty recently. I don't think I'm going to make it this year, but I made it just before Thanksgiving. So probably in the summer, be the next trip.
Oh, that's great. There's nothing like New York at Christmas time. Nothing. So I love it.
Amazing.
Esther, what random acts of kindness did you give or receive this year?
Oh my goodness. So many random acts of kindness have I received from my brother Henko. He was just so amazing. And Oh, so many people. Yes, I can't even just, wow. So many. I can't even think of.
Okay.
Yeah, just so many.
Okay. I'm going to unmute Terry again.
Uh
And
oh.
Terry, if you could invent a holiday, what would it be called, and would it be, and how would it be celebrated?
Oh, let's just go for Richard Skipper Day. And everybody can come and celebrate. It would
Oh
be
my
a huge,
God!
huge party.
Thank you. Well, every day with me is a celebration. You know that. Thank you for that, Barbara. If you could learn a new skill this coming year, if you could learn a new skill this coming year, what would it be?
I'd love to learn how to skate, ice skate. Yes, and roller skate, but ice skate. And why? I had a very strange childhood because I'm very short and I was very obese. So I never got to do anything athletic. And now I'm still short, but I weigh 98 pounds today. And so I try to do things that I could have never done when I was younger and was didn't want people to laugh at me because I couldn't do it. So I'm game for anything, including ice skating, roller skating, and playing tennis.
So, Barbara, let's make a commitment to each other that you and I are going to go ice skating at Rockefeller Center next Christmas.
I will personally give you that okay, but I'm telling you, you have to hold me up. But
Oh my God, you don't have to hold me up
anymore. I'd love
hold me up. Just hold me up.
I'd love that.
So, Brett, this is the age-old question I'm going to ask you. Would you rather cook the holiday meal or clean it up?
I would rather clean it up.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm
Please.
okay in the kitchen. I'm not horrible, but I would probably choose somebody else to cook the holiday meal over myself.
I love to cook, but I hate the cleanup. And
Really?
it's worked out perfectly for Danny and me. I do the cooking, and he cooks too, but I cook and he'll do the cleanup. So I know exactly what you mean.
Perfect. I don't mind it.
Yeah. So Esther, what is your favorite holiday cookie?
My favorite holiday cookie. We didn't grow up in South Africa with holiday cookies.
Wow.
But if I had to pick something here.
Do you have a favorite cookie?
No.
Well,
I like cake and like cupcakes.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you eat cookies?
No, not really. I like the real cupcakes and cake.
Okay. There's a wonderful company called Cheryl's Cookies. If anyone knows that how to get in touch with her, call her and tell her she should sponsor the show. But her cookies are phenomenal. Cheryl's Cookies. And I would send you a box of cookies just so that you could try them out. They are just incredible.
Oh, wow.
So make sure I get your address. I'm gonna send you some cookies.
Oh, thank you so much.
So Terry, I'm gonna get back to you. And if you could wish for one thing this holiday season, what would it be?
No more war.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
We're all in on that one.
Yeah. So Barbara, you've already mentioned the fact growing up with your father in the department store. Maybe you're going to go there. Maybe you'll go in another direction. But what's your favorite holiday memory?
My favorite holiday memory is Christmas and Christmas time. It is that after the store closed, which we were all very tired because all of us helped Daddy, my dad, my mother, my sister, and myself. we would wrap gifts and we would go get boxes, my sister and I. So afterwards was a very big deal that we went across the street to the Schmidts. And Paul Schmidt was the coroner in Chicago.
Mm.
And they had a Christmas party. Oh my goodness, it was magic. Magic. And we just loved going there after being so tired for helping my dad. And then the next day we would drive down to Florida to be with my grandparents in Sarasota, Florida. It was a wonderful time for me. Very special time because I got to see my grandparents. I got to experience this incredible time of Christmas like I'd never experienced. I mean, I've never seen such beautiful dishes, cookies too.
That's good.
But, I mean, it was really magical.
That's great. Brad, if you could share a meal, going back to meals with you, if you could share a meal with one famous historical figure, living or past, who would it be and why?
Elvis.
Elvis.
You were playing Elvis music on the way in too. I heard
Yes.
that.
Yes.
No, I just think that the guy just changed music for the better, and I think that he came from very humble beginnings and worked his way up, and I really respect and admire that, and I have some questions for him about it.
Great. I'm going to give another shameless plug here. A few weeks ago, I interviewed Sally Hodel. She is an Elvis Presley historian, and
Wow.
she wrote a book about, it was almost as if he was predestined to pass away at an early age, not because of what we would think, but because of the history of health in his family and his own health issues. So it's on YouTube. Everyone check it out if you haven't seen it already.
Sounds great.
And Esther, if you could choose one dish to have at your holiday get-together, what would that dish be?
Turkey.
Me
Turkey.
too. Oh,
I
great.
love turkey. Yeah.
And do you cook as well?
No, I'm not very good at cooking.
The secret is in brining, which I've learned to do, and I brine my turkey every year. There's nothing like it.
Really.
Terry, what was your favorite show or song this year? Let me make sure that you're unmuted.
My favorite show or song this year?
Mm-hmm.
You mean new song? I haven't learned a new song since Clive Barnes was a girl. What are you talking about? People go, why don't you do some new songs, Terry? I'm like, no, I don't.
Well, what about a favorite show that you saw this year?
What did I see? I can't remember. I'm having a moment.
What pops into your head? Shout it out.
I saw a friend of mine. I'll give her an unabashed plug. Patty Greco. Do you know Patty?
I don't.
Do you know Patty Greco? Check her out on YouTube. She did a show this year, and she's probably one of the finest singers I have ever heard. Mm-hmm. And she was very big in the 80s in the Catskills when it was still happening up here a lot. She did a lot of cruise ship work and stuff like that. But she's kind of a little celebrity up here, and I just adore her. And if you get to check her out,
I'm going to look her up. That's great. Thank you for that. Barbara, what's a new habit that you created this year?
I sound so narcissistic.
No, go for it.
Well, I recently became all blonde. So my habit is enjoying it because it is so much better than being gray.
Well, I like the gray. I love gray.
Oh, no,
beautiful anyway.
Yellow on gray. It's perfect. So it's a good habit. I'm obsessed with it. I really like it. The yellow shampoo.
Well, good for you. Brad, do you decorate? And if so, what's an ornament that you will never get rid of?
I don't normally decorate. because I am a single guy living in a house and I don't have a family. Now, not that that's an excuse. I probably should decorate, but I do have this Christmas ornament that I've kept for 20, 30 years. It's just a picture of me on Santa Claus's lap when I was 4, and it's just a cool little memory. It's a great Christmas ornament.
I know what you mean. I have a photograph of my father and me and you may have seen it, Barbara. It's a photograph of me with an electric train set with my father.
I've seen it.
And it is one of my favorite. I mean, I tear up thinking about it. It's just those times with my parents. It was just wonderful. Esther, this is an interesting question. Get ready. If you could design your own ugly holiday sweater, what would it look like?
I like how you say your own ugly sweater.
Well, you know that ugly sweaters are now the thing. Do you know about this? Yes, look it up. Ugly Christmas sweaters. Everyone's wearing them. Whoopi Goldberg has her own line of ugly Christmas sweaters.
Okay, so it's got to be ugly. I guess just something with a lot of colors and lots of like colors. Maybe Santa on the toilet or something.
No, that's an ugly Christmas sweater. Yeah. Terry, interesting question.
Scared. I'm very scared now, Richard.
Yeah, would you rather eat at the kids' or grown-ups table, and why?
Oh, the grown-ups table.
Okay.
I have another sideline that I do, which is face painting company, and I do a lot with kids.
Good for you.
And I would rather not do it when I don't have to.
Yeah.
And I don't get to sit down with a lot of adults a lot of the time, so that would be good.
Okay. Barbara, what makes your heart happy?
Oh, so many things. I love to see people that I know or people I don't even know that are experiencing something that they really see joy. And I love seeing people laugh. You know, Brett, you mentioned Elvis. I can't stop watching that new movie because
It's great.
It's well, to me, he's brilliant.
He is brilliant. Absolutely.
And I recommend that movie. I recommend so many things to people, and it gives me a lot of joy to see them enjoying it. You know, whether it's a book or a movie or a show, it makes me just like watching people open gifts that I give them. It's better than receiving it. I love watching people get joy.
That's great. And Brett, this is going to be the last question, and it's again a food question for you. So, what popular holiday dish do you dislike, and why?
Fruitcake, because it's disgusting. I don't know why anybody would ever eat that. It's terrible.
The other night I was watching there on the cooking channel. Their exercise was to come up with a new version of the fruitcake, and it was amazing what they were putting into it. It looked very interesting. So we're going to do a giveaway, and what I've decided to do is a giveaway today. And Esther, I want your address because I'm going to send you cookies.
Oh,
I'm going to send some cookies, and let's see. I am going to find out who our winner is today. Thank you all for being here. And let's see here. Natasha Lombardi, I've got your address. So get ready, Natasha. We're going to talk. Give me a call later. We'll figure something out. Right. So I want to thank you all for being here today. I'm going to make my closing remarks, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, Esther. And then you will pick the next person, and that person will pick the next person until one person's left. The last person standing, don't worry about how to end the show. As soon as you say goodbye, the final credits will roll. And it can be about something that we talked about today that you want to build upon, something that we didn't talk about that you wish we had, or just any final message that you want to leave everybody with today, whether it be on topic with what we talked about or something that we didn't talk about that you wish we had. I picked the word perseverance today. And I picked this word last week when Barbara reached out to me and said that she wanted to do this show. Because to me, Barbara, you epitomize this word in this business. And I say that with the utmost respect to you, because we learn so much through your show what perseverance is in a business where people are constantly shutting doors in your face. Or, I mean, if nothing else, your opening night in Hyman Kaplan. I mean, it's just the things that happen that we have no control over. So your show, I recommend it to everybody. I'm going to pull it up on the screen again. If you were in the LA area, please go see it. It's 18 Minutes of Fame. The details will be on YouTube. And if for any reason you're not going to be in LA and you can't go see it, send a friend. Tell other people about it because it's important. I'm writing a new show called Plate Spinners, Jugglers, and Richard Skipper, Tales of a Lifetime in Show Business. The title comes to me because when Donald Smith, who created the Cabaret Convention, was asked if I was going to be in the Cabaret Convention, his response was, if we have people like Richard Skipper in the Cabaret Convention, what's next? Plate Spinners and Jugglers? I don't look at that as a negative. I've embraced it. Because I am proud to be among the plate spinners and the jugglers of the world. My career has been about spinning plates and juggling. So I embrace it. I'm bringing it on. I end all of my shows by telling everyone to go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. I've stepped away from Facebook temporarily. I pop in once a month just to say hi and to see who's there. But sit down for a moment and listen to the silence. And in that silence, think of someone that you haven't spoken to in a while and reach out with a phone call. Not an email message, not a text message, not a private inbox message, a phone call. And let that person know how they matter in your life. It's important that we do so while they're here instead of celebrating them after they've gone. I see all of the outpouring for Kirstie Alley. And a few months ago, people were attacking her on social media. So celebrate them while they're here. It's important that we do so. I have a dear friend, Sean Moniger, and he always says, we're all in this together, but we're not in the same boat. But someone pointed out to me an incredible meme. It says, we're all in the same storm, but we're in different types of boats. Some are in sailboats, some are on yachts, some are in canoes, some are in kayaks, some are pushing barges upstream. I don't care what kind of a boat you're going to be on. Just make sure that when you do so, you have a skipper by your side. And on that note, I'm going to leave the screen. And Esther, I'm turning it over to you. Thanks for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard, for having me on your show. And what a lovely experience. And the word perseverance is such a beautiful word. And it's so important for us to just keep going, even when things look hard and impossible and difficult, to just never give up, and to keep going no matter what, just keep going. And to also believe in others when they feel it's hard. So keep going, people. Never give up. Thank you.
Pick the next person.
Oh, I have to pick the next person. Greg, you go. Take it away.
Me. Okay. So on your theme of perseverance, I've given myself a little fitness journey this year of running 1,000 miles in 2022. I'm about 900, almost 900 in, so I'm getting there. But beyond just the physical shape, I've just learned so much about perseverance and about sticking with it and about the journey, and how the journey is more important than the destination. And that applies not only to running, that applies to life, that applies to acting, that applies to anything that you're trying to pursue in life. Remember to show up every day and keep showing up, and remember that the journey is the most important thing. And thank you so much, Richard, for having me on the show. And I'm going to pick Barbara.
Well, Brett, you just said what my whole thing in life is that it's not about the result. It's really about living the journey, and the result will come as it's supposed to be, and it may not be exactly what you wanted. But if you look at life half full, which is also important, rather than half empty, you can find something really wonderful about the result, even though it may not be what you think you wanted. So perseverance and living life to the fullest, and not writing a script, that's very important. I'm looking forward to the show, and I don't know if there'll be 5 people in the audience, or I just love being and doing, and that's my whole mission, being in life. Thank you.
I guess it's me. Well, the title of perseverance is near and dear to my heart, because I remember when I was just a young baby performer, I saw this very interesting man, Queen performer, who was probably in his 60s, donning a wig and being fabulous. And I said to myself, I want to do that when I grow up, or I wanted to be able to still be doing that at that age. And then I met recently, and she was one of the shows I forgot to mention, Miss Marilyn May. And she has been a huge power of example that you never give up. Because art will keep you young. What makes you happy will keep you young, and wanting to stay and keep doing it, no matter how old you may get. We're always, what is the word? Young at heart. And with that, I wish you all a hugely happy holiday, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah season, and may you find love in every step you take.